Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Post Fight. And in this edition of Post Fight, I'll be doing Post Fight UFC 290, Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. So Volkanovski versus Rodriguez, Post Fight, UFC 290 Post Fight. Yeah, how'd I do for this card? I went 8-5, started real well, 4-zip, 4-0, and then 4-0. Then I had like a 2-fight skid, win, loss, and like you start looking weird. But nonetheless. But good start, rough middle, great, well not great ending. Great start, rough middle, okay ending. But yeah, this card looked like it's gonna probably be like a 11 and what 3? Well not probably 11-2 or 10-3 type card, but it ended up being 8-5. All it takes is a couple of little things that I guess not supposed to happen, and that's a shift. Like 2 fights that probably should have went through. That would have been like what 10-3. And then 2 of those fights don't go through, and that's how your thing shift up like that. It's so simple. Like this, the slight deviation that it takes for your card to be a great card to being an okay card is it's so easy to just have a card that could have been great turn to an okay card. But anyway, so I went 8-5, and as always with these videos, I'm not gonna be all focused on every single fight. Maybe in the future I'll focus on every single fight, but I'm just gonna focus on the L's. That's what I'm gonna focus on because those are where I could get better at. So the first L was Crute versus Minifield. Really not a whole lot to get better on. Both of these guys showed the same stuff they always showed. It was a close fight. I don't know if I did. I think I went average confidence, but yeah, it wasn't like a case of both of these guys literally showed who they were. I think Minifield showed some more improvements in his situational awareness and especially with the submission, going for the sub and getting that sub, and he's continuing to show improvement in his submission game and his overall MMA game. But outside that, it wasn't really much improvement. I also still see a major issue that I saw, which led to him losing to William Knight in the past. He's literally dead in the clinch. He let Crute do all those knees. I mean, obviously he won the future, but like, am I saying he made such a big improvement? And some issues, I'm going to point to the issues, like if I'm going to lean to Minifield. And a matter of fact, for this fight, the first fight, I was actually picking Minifield, but then in a draw. Second fight, I saw that how Crute was able to get a takedown in the first fight and get a lot of control time in that first fight. And Dog Crute, the younger guy, he come in and be able to, make the better adjustments. But Minifield was the one who made the better adjustments. And like again, they still show a lot of same flaws. Crute still be big, long head, don't move his head at all, don't empty kicks. He got tagged a couple times for it. Minifield on his side, he's still dead in the clinch like he was against William Knight. And originally I picked William Knight to beat Minifield, but then that fight fell through. Then they got rematched. And then I picked Minifield the second time because I saw he made improvement. So again, a case of I switched from one fight to the next, and then my fight lost. But anyway, yeah, because Crute, I mean, in all things, Minifield should have beat William Knight. He was a much better fighter than William Knight. But the issue he failed in is he would be able to clinch William Knight up, but he was dead in the clinch. Like literally not doing no knees, just holding. I guess because he see other people do it. Like they hold people against cage, they win, but they're punching you in the leg, punching you in the body, elbowing you, up elbows, knees to the body. He just literally hugging you like a prom date. I mean, Neil Magny does it, but at least he throws punches. But it's something. But throw punches to get there, then throw punches while he's in there. But he literally just holding you and not doing nothing. And look at this fight. I don't think he do a single strike in the clinch. So that's going to be a big issue, especially in a very close fight where maybe he might feel like the striking toe is very close, or maybe the other guy was striking him, and he just decides to hold him against the cage, but not do a single thing in the clinch. And then he'll lose a close decision again down the run, because that's just a bad tendency for him. Crute on the other side, been a young guy like this and keeps dropping these important fights, and now he's dropping fights to guys older than him or significantly older than him. Now good look for Crute. I don't feel like Crute really. I feel Minifield made improvements. I feel like Crute, being a young guy, he should have been the one who should have made more improvements, but he didn't. He looked like the same as that guy that fought Minifield the first time. So that's definitely not good. I mean, he did try a couple more feints and stuff. He tried to be a little bit more patient, but what was your defense? Why was your striking so clunky? But yeah, I can't really say, oh, this is such a learning experience for this one. It's a loss. Do I feel bad about it? No, I was never like super confident about either of these guys in this one. But yeah, Crute gonna be looking to fade him. Minifield, both of these guys gonna be looking to fade in the future because Minifield, again, he's like not having no actual action inside the clinch. And, especially when you keep going up further and further fights, having that activity in the clinch is going to be crucial to win close fights. Because you're a close fight again, maybe a guy out striking you, he's a better striker than you. Maybe I don't know, the striking totals is closer or whatever case may be. Maybe you got hurt and you need to survive the round or maybe try to steal the round back or like not like you got dropped and was halfway knocked out, but like he coached you a clean shot, but now you're gonna need to hold on to him this whole round. Maybe throw some knees to the body, punches to the body. Pile up some points, get like 30 little weak strikes in there. Just like pile up the scorecard with some weak strikes to cover the fact that you got clipped a little bit in that round, and then you hold a guy to like 15 strikes and you land like 30 strikes, but you probably land like 18 significant ones, and you edge out the round because you were able to hold him and clinch him up. But the fact that you hold this one and you're not throwing no strikes, that's going to be hard to steal that round back or eke that round out. Similar with the Willie Knight fight. I don't think he ever got really clipped in that one. He got hit, stung probably like one time, but still it was a close fight. But he literally did nothing to clinch, and that's why he lost the fight because Willie Knight did land a big punch that round, but and then Minifield clinched him for the whole round, but he didn't throw no significant strikes, so he just held him and he lost the round and lost a close fight that he should have won. So you know what I'm saying? So again, both of these guys are fade materials, all I'm saying, in the future. Minifield, we already know he got a low ceiling. Crute, losing him, his ceiling low. He's younger, but it's gonna be hard to say that he's gonna get any bit better to really change his trajectory in his career or in his weight class. All right. Next L was Yasmin Yaragui versus Denise Gomez. Went with Yasmin Yaragui here. And she got stopped in the first round very quickly. I think like 27 seconds, I believe. And it was similar to the Stella Nunes fight. Not exactly similar, but it was similar that she got dropped in the first round, but this time she got finished. So I was expecting she would be a little bit more cleaner, have better footwork. But really, Denise Gomez just brought the fight to her and cracked her. But you saw a woman come at you with a lot of steam, and you really had no answer. You like say, wait, so let me just kind of stick something out there or shoot a hard feint and then start to shift my way out there, or maybe cut an angle and just get out the way, get off the cage so I don't get hit with no big shot. Like she literally come at me with a lot of steam. She's trying to hit me with something big. Let me get my back off the cage. Nah, she got let her walk you down and hit you with a big shot and just run right through you like you were nothing. That was the fight. So yeah, I went low confidence here. So I went low confidence here and I just avoided the fight completely. I had no confidence one. I feel Denise Gomez definitely had that path to victory in a sense, maybe not that easily, but yeah, I thought the odds on Yaragui weren't good, but I like Yaragui does seem like overall the better boxer. I feel like the first round in dealing with that power early gonna be an issue for her, but the rounds extended, she'll get the better of it. But she didn't get the chance to do that. She got starched in the first round, and going forward for Yaragui, she's gonna need to work on that. You got stopped down in 2 fights. You got dropped in the first round. This one you got finished in, brutally finished in. The first one you were able to pounce back up and do what you need to do, but this one, like I said, you got rocked. So how many times you gotta get smacked in the first round to say, oh, I need to work on my defense. I need to work on this. I need to be able to slip down. I need to be able to draw that punch out and be able to get just out of range of it and avoid it or make them pay. Get just out of range, make it slip, come right back and crack them with some big shots. But yeah. Denise Gomez looking good. So Yaragui, I don't think this is a big L for her. I mean, it's obviously a big L, but it ain't like a career. Like, how'd you lose to her? How'd you lose like that? It's not like that. I feel it's gonna be this, like she's kind of hard headed, but this is gonna be the one that gets through that hard head. And like say, oh, I need to work on this, need to work on that, make improvement. I'm still a very young fighter. I think she's like 24, 25. Still a very young fighter, still talented. And I could bounce back from this one. Just make this improvement, like, refine myself, sharpen these tools up. And Denise Gomez, she's going to keep getting better and better. Like, first, you kind of just seen her as a BJJ fighter for the most part. Now she got like 2 TKO stoppages over people that supposed to be strikers. So both of these women are supposed to be the better strikers than her last 2 fights, and she knocked both of them out. So, yeah, so that's only going to round her out and make her even more dangerous. And hopefully with that confidence, she keeps improving on her technique. Just get confident in power and then start leading with power. Because then when you get to a different level, power ain't going to be enough. You got to set it up better. But still, like, for where she is right now, it's very good that she's doing what she does. So Denise Gomez, definitely gonna have my eyes on her. Yaragui, I'm gonna have my eyes on her as well. Both of these women are not fade material. The guys in the last fight, those are fade material fighters. Both of these women in their weight classes, in their field, they are not fade material. Because Yaragui probably get a lesser competition, and you're gonna probably get like, say she would have won this one or whatnot, or this fight didn't happen. The level of competition you'll get in her next fight, probably she would have been probably like minus 500 against. But the fact that she got starched, she's probably gonna drop to like minus 200 for that fight, even if it's a fight that's supposed to be easily stylistic for her. This was not an easily stylistic match. I don't know what the odds were saying. What the odds were saying that. The odds were dumb. I didn't agree with the odds from the jump. That's why I went low confidence and just avoid the fight in general. I knew it was a close fight. Well, obviously, it wasn't close at all because Denise Gomez ran through, but yeah, it was definitely not no. She should not have been no -400 or -375. But so the odds she'll get asked to get decent odds in her next fight because she lost this one. And Denise Gomez, she'll go up in rank and might get slept on again. She got slept on like 2 fights in a row now. So you still gonna get. Matter of fact, both of these women gonna get decent odds on it because Denise Gomez gonna fight better competition next fight. So likely better competition. So her odds are gonna be pretty probably -100s, -200s in the next fight. Yargui probably be -200 because they're gonna give her a step down. So both of these women looking forward are gonna probably have great odds in the next one, and they probably both should win their next fight. Should both win probably, in my opinion. Even though we don't know who they fighting next, but I'm assuming how the game goes. That's how it's gonna work. So that was my second L. Third L was Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. I picked Nico Price. And Nico Price got knocked out in the first round. I could have played this one. Matter of fact, I didn't play this one at all, but I could have played it if I did bet it. I didn't bet on this fight because it's just avoided. I think the odds weren't that great on Nico Price, and I wasn't sure it would necessarily be a TKO. I picked TKO, but I wasn't sure necessarily like, oh, this guy gonna knock him out with that. But KO prop, it's a general KO prop. I think that was like -300, -200. That would have been a decent prop because most old guys do go out and get stopped. And Robbie Lawler is a finisher. So, but I don't know. It would have been these probably just play general KO, but everything's good in hindsight. Like you could say this, say that, then end up going to a decision. So yeah, that was more phenomenal for none of those things unless if you pick Robbie Lawler. But what did I say about it? I guess I hit Nico Price too hard when I stopped him. Again, I'm Philip Rowe. When I stopped Nico Price before this one, I hit him way too hard, so it made Robbie Lawler get an easy dub on him. If I didn't hurt him like I did, he probably would have beat Robbie Lawler as he was supposed to. But yeah, I went average competition. I wasn't like super locked. I thought Nico Price was a very winnable fight for Robbie Lawler, but again, Robbie Lawler had been in the game for forever. And these guys, when they start being in the game forever, even half of the time Robbie Lawler been in, they start losing to people they should not lose to at all. Like they start losing to like Seth Petrozelli and stuff, and losing to I don't know Dennis Seaver and whatnot. They would lose to people like BJP losing to Dennis Seaver and Clay Guida and whatnot. Not saying those people are bad, but they aren't on level at all, or even worth being in conversation with the guys they are beating when they are downhill. And I said that Robbie Lawler was just downhill, just losing to anyone, any and everyone, but he wasn't. Like I said, he was skidding for sure. So yeah, but good win for Robbie Lawler. I was happy to see him win, especially when I not betting on the fight at all. I was happy to see Robbie Lawler win. Not for my predictions, but happy to see him win. I rather take that L there, especially when I'm not betting nothing on that fight, and see Robbie Lawler win. Like Robbie Lawler is one of my favorite fighters, so I'm happy to see him win. So I ain't mad about that at all. Excited he went out there and started like he did and was able to go out, get the whole tribute and everything. And that's how I want all these legends to be able to go out and not go out on their back. So that's a good way to go out. So good for Robbie Lawler. Which can you really say about Robbie Lawler? Because if he's fully retiring, and which he should, hope he don't get no confidence. Like I got a good win now. Let me try to get another one. Let me try to go to a title shot. I still love this game. Like nah, just retire, Robbie Lawler. You had a great career. Your time at the top is done. You got this good win here, but your time at the top is done. And it's not like Nico Price was some stud anyway. He was just a guy that was just good enough. Should have been good enough to get you out of there. That's about it. But he wasn't good enough to be like, oh, this is a win that could show me that I could fight the best of the best. It wasn't that win. So good one for Robbie Lawler, but nothing to say. He should retire and should fight no one. He goes out the way that a lot of these guys should go out. These legends should go out. Nico Price, this is a very bad loss for him, and now he's looking like a wounded duck, a wounded elk, a wounded animal. And so blood's in the water, and a lot of guys will be looking to finish him in the next fight, especially coming off 2 knockout losses. He's likely to get knocked out a third time in a row and be cut in his next fight, depending on how they match him up against. It's not like he ever been the most technical striker anyway. He was kind of been that guy that kind of wild, kind of awkward. Like, he's well-rounded enough, but his technique on the feet is definitely pretty sloppy for the most part. So wild, awkward guy. So it's not like he could resort back to fundamentals ever because he never was that fundamental guy. So now he just a wounded duck, a wounded elk, a wounded mouse, a wounded kangaroo. I don't know. I'm just throwing out right now. He's wounded. Either way, he's a wounded animal. And he ain't got the fundamentals to save himself now because all he relied on is the sloppy technique he got that he used to get his way here. Relying on heart, grit, and tenacity, but he don't got the technique to like I say, I'm gonna get all my like I say is out just right now. So yeah, he gonna use yeah. He can't. I'm just trying to say. I'm not even trying to say like anymore. say I'm just saying I'm switching like and say. I just need to improve my vocabulary. I need to open up a dictionary, read a book. I don't know, I'm talking too much. But unlike other people who have had more technique, who have gotten older in their career and stuff and become chinny or suffer some losses and stuff, and they were able to rely on their technique to avoid getting hit with big shots or go to wrestling or go to this and go to that so that their suspect chin won't be touched as much or won't be as vulnerable because they could mix it up and hide behind their technique, hide behind their wrestling. Nico Price cannot do that. So he's looking like he's about to be on a 3-fight losing streak all by a knockout. Like very likely. If he does stick around in the UFC, doesn't retire, doesn't get cut. So yeah. But great win for Robbie Lawler. I'm happy for that. So that was my third L. Fourth L was Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. And it's really the only loss that stung on this card for me. It's the only loss. I lost a couple props. I ain't gonna mention that because the props were actually on wins, like very confident wins. Those were most of the L's, like where the props that fell through were on win, like guys winning, but not the way I wanted to win. Like you supposed to knock this guy out, but you sub him. You supposed to be a submission sharp, but you decision this guy. Like that's where it kind of faded on other part. But as far as like this one particular fighter that actually bet on and put in some parlays that messed me up was actually Jalen Turner. And he was high confident, and now it's like two fights in a row for him that he messed me up. But yeah, Jalen Turner. And before I even get into this whole thing right here, his loss here, what I'm gonna say is don't be that guy that go in people's comment section, like go into a fighter's comment section or DM a fighter or I don't know, whatever case where you could reach a fighter or bash a fighter online, like in your tweets or in the thread or in the Reddit or whatever. But especially not going to their Instagram and their Twitters and directly talking about like, you lost me money. Why are you fighting like this? Why are you doing this? You're an idiot. You're a scrub. You're a bum. I'm never betting on you again. I don't even like your mom. I don't even like this. You're a scrub. Blah 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 blah. Don't be that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You should have did this. Don't be an online MMA coach, because your bet fell through or your prediction. I don't know. Some people be mad because their prediction falls through. Like you literally nothing invested into this except maybe your image, your ego, or whatnot. Don't be that guy that be in somebody's comment section bashing on them because they lost. Yes, you can be mad. Fade them in the next fight. Don't pick them ever again. Don't bet on them ever again. But don't be that guy because at the end of the day, you could have won $1 million. Will you probably give that guy any bit of that money? No, you're like, I made the bet. I put the money at risk. I don't have to give them nothing. And at the end of the day, they don't even know who you are. They fighting for their own livelihood. And the mistakes they make or don't make all falls on them. So you can't be mad when they win, can't be mad when they lose. And then all you can do is learn from it and try to your best way to approach the fight or approach them in matchups, predictions, betting, whatever you weigh. But don't be that guy that be in there mad and butthurt and bashing the fighter and just blowing him up like, especially when it just sounds so lame and pathetic. Like, why are you on your knees crying? Like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Like, I trust you. Like, I literally don't know who you are. Like I said, you be mad and stuff, but hey, maybe get that out one time, but that should not be a common thing for you to do, to be in fighters' comment section just crying about them losing or not performing to their best ability or whatnot. So yeah, don't do that. Don't be that guy or girl or they, them, or whatever you want to be in this new generation. But don't be that. But yeah, what I'm gonna say with this one is yeah, I'm definitely not probably going without a doubt my confidence in Jalen Turner is dropping. Am I bashing him or anything? But all you can do is, like I said, I can't bash him or be nothing mad about him. Definitely not a good feeling or definitely not a good outcome. But all I can do is say, like, this guy kind of falling through these big moments. So let me pull back on whether I'm picking him, the confidence going to drop, or whether I'm picking against him. Yeah, just in general with him, I'm not going to be as confident unless I get a perfect setup matchup for him. But even then, also now you got the complication that he might not be able to make lightweight. He might have to go up to welterweight. So there's a whole new different ballgame now. How's he gonna do at welterweight? He won't be as big at welterweight, and you want to adjust that weight class as well. Will they drop him in high in the weight class, or will they drop him in low and give him a favorable matchup to build him up in the weight class? So we don't know, but I guess what I could say was one Hooker's like you can't act like Hooker is just some bum. Hooker's still a very good fighter. It was just a case where Hooker like he was on the downtrend. Jalen Turner seemingly on the uptrend, but now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Very big guy, bigger than Hooker. Took away a lot of Hooker's best weapons. But Hooker was able to grit him out, I guess, use that experience at a higher level. And just not fade in there, stayed in there with him, outworked him, and beat him by decision. And I guess where I can look at Jalen Turner, I actually saw in a video, Sean Strickland's and Chris Curtis completely unprofessional breakdown. You know they don't say that is. I'm just making names up, but anyway, they had their own little breakdown. They didn't know half the fighters. Like matter of fact, 75% of the fighters on the card. But what they did know because they trained with Jalen Turner here and there. They said Jalen Turner he's not a hard worker. He's lazy, and you can kind of get those vibes. Like he kind of lazy. He relies on talent, and it's not. I don't look at Chris Curtis as some super active guy. You get called lazy by Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland. Well, Strickland kind of work hard. I think Curtis don't work nearly as hard as Sean Strickland, in my opinion. Definitely don't fight with as much intensity or as pace as Sean Strickland. So if you get called lazy by Chris Curtis, or getting agreed upon to be lazy by Chris Curtis, and you kind of this guy that just relies on your talent, or not purely relying on your talent, but kind of you're not fully committing, you're not fully going out there and getting all the reps you need. I think that shows in this loss, in other losses. Like, yes, he's a good fighter. Yes, he's putting in the work, but he's not putting in full work. Like he's doing himself a disservice. Even all taking a picture with the people after he lose to them. It's like, are you here to have fun or are you here to win? Are you taking this fully serious? And you can say, like, again, I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying, like, it's got to think that way. I'm not gonna say, oh, you're a scrub. Take this serious. But kind of think, is that playing a factor in this thing? Is that why you aren't able to get over the hump? And just like a lot of these other fighters that were super great, even some of them, but they could have been greater. Or these guys that were good but could have been great. Or these guys that were mid but could have been okay. But they didn't commit till later on in their career. It took them like till they were 35 and they started taking it serious. Started dieting, started training, started putting in the extra reps, extra time. But by that time, like they were able to get to a title shot or win a title, but you really got much left to your career. Again, your glory, your greatness was limited by your own lack of effort and lack of commitment. And I'm thinking that might be very true. It also might mean why you miss weight. But who knows? Maybe they could say you look lazy because maybe you cut in so much weight to make 55 that you don't have the energy to do that. Because like he like 6'9", I'm exaggerating, like 6'9", make kind of 155. So maybe he's not that he's lazy, it's that he don't have the energy in camp because he's trying to cut to 55 as big as he is. So who knows? Maybe at 170 he'll be a bigger beast, and he won't be as drained in the camp because he's not trying to cut to 55. He'll be 170 and maybe not try to fill out as much in the weight class as much, and just allow himself to be big, but not over big, and still be fresh enough that he can put in all the reps he needs in camp and have cardio, and then he can fight like that in the fight too. So he could translate that in the gym, then translate over in the fight. So he gotta have much more energy, maybe more power and more speed, whatnot, more technique, more composure, all that things, because he had more reps and was able to condition more, do all the things more, and be better. But yeah, I'm gonna say Dan Hooker looks good. I still don't think I think Dan Hooker is definitely big fade material if they put him in a big spot, like an actual like contender spot. But he could definitely sneak some more wins, like Jalen Turner level away out there. He could definitely sneak. I think he could definitely potentially beat. Matter of fact, I would think he would beat Mateusz Gamrot. He might stop Mateusz Gamrot. Dan Hooker does have pretty decent wrestling defense for the most part, unless it's against a Dagestani elite like Makhachev or Khabib. I think his takedown offense is pretty solid. I don't like his 5 rounds, how he deals in 5 rounds, but 3 rounds I think he does pretty well. So he definitely could upset a lot of guys, in upper ranks of 155 still. But as far as, really getting to a contenders, like a number 1 contender spot, I think he'll lose every single time, depending, 99% of the time. Jay Turner on the other side, hopefully he gets a big step down in competition. He can start piling some wins back up and make some adjustments, whether he's going to 55, whether he's staying at 55 or whether he's going to 170. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on Turner. But don't be that guy that be in my comment section crying and complaining, because you would not have given this guy a penny if you hit that parlay, your $100 parlay to win $100,000. You would not have gave the guy a cent. So don't be in there complaining. Yeah. 5th fight and final fight was Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. And what happened with this one? So congrats to Dricus du Plessis. He's the real deal. He might be awkward, he might be this, he might be that, but he's the real deal. And there's plenty of people that are awkward that are going to be great fighters and still be awkward, awkward great fighter. And there's plenty of fighters that are so technical and so textbook that don't amount to much in the game. And that's for everything: basketball, soccer, football, NFL football, non-Americano football, global football, whatever you want to get, tennis. Yeah, so many cases where so would you rather be awkward and great or textbook and mediocre? I'd be awkward and great all day. So good on him to keep winning. Now he's about to get that title shot. I'm excited to see that fight. And Dricus Place is the real deal. I think where Dricus Places won this fight is the fact that I think with that head and arm throw, which is like, typically only works in women MMA, I think that kind of demoralized Whitaker. I think bust him up with elbows on the ground once he had him down and feeling that style. I think that demoralized him. I think in the first round, he wasn't as sharp as he typically is, Robert Whitaker, but he still was himself. But I think after he got taken down and hit with some elbows and, his head started leaking, I just feel like he started to, he got demoralized. So in a way, Dricus Du Plessis kind of broke him, in my honest opinion. On top of that, Dricus Du Plessis has a lot of power, and that Dricus Du Plessis was never give him that full respect. He was like, oh, bite on every fake he was doing. Like fake he was doing, he was invalidating on everything he was doing. He's like, I see you throwing it. I move out of the way. I'm gonna stay in your face. Like he stayed in his face. And on top of that, Robert Whitaker is not like he has the best defense. He don't have the best boxing. That's what I was saying. He kind of in and out karate guy, throwing punches and stuff, hands low a lot of time. Then we get on this side, he might shell up for a little bit, but he don't really have a case where he could move, have his hands high, work behind it, and jab you. Like most times his hand gonna be pretty low. It's only be certain instances where his hand gonna be high. So you start to approach a guy like that, you just make him uncomfortable. Like, and Dricus Du Plessis was able to stay on him, make him uncomfortable. And ultimately, I think in the second round was like he dropped him with like a jab, and he was able to rip him to the body. And again, this is a position where Robert Whitaker is not really comfortable being in very long. Like holding his arms up, like he's not used to that. He's not used to maybe being a boxer. Like boxers, they always go in their shows. They always getting ripped to the body. I mean, Whitaker probably trains cool workouts, probably works this and works that. Again, also on top of that, Dricus Du Plessis hits so hard as he does, or Dricus Du Plessis hits as hard as he does on top of that. But yeah, he was uncomfortable once he got taken down and got bust open. And then he's also uncomfortable with how awkward Dricus Du Plessis was and also not giving him the usual respect he gets from these other fighters. And then eventually he's got intercepted with a big heavy jab. Like Du Plessis not giving up ground. It's not saying Robert Whitaker about to hit a sequence and just like, oh, let me get out the way of it. Now he's like, no, I'm gonna stay right here and I'm gonna jab you as you trying to jump in. And he caught him with a jab. Robert Whitaker got rocked. Du Plessis stayed on him. And also again, Robert Whitaker not having the best defense because he's not a boxer. He's not a kickboxer. He's a karate guy. What defense do karate guys really have beside their legs? They don't really have no real defense. So he got rocked. He was running sideways, getting hit with hooks and stuff. Like again, karate guy, they don't know how to defend. Can defend. They might as well be a wooden plank, like they hit in karate. So he was get hit, then he just shelled up a little bit. Now he used to be in that position, looking awkward. And Du Plessis hit him to the body. Robert Whitaker dropped, and Du Plessis finished him off. So, but no insult to Robert Whitaker, but I think it's the truth is the truth. And Robert Whitaker, Du Plessis right now is the truth. And he's about to get a title shot. Robert Whitaker, I don't know how this loss is going to affect him. I think he could definitely bounce back, but he was already talking about retirement. Even in this fight, he's already a process of retiring, a plan to retire. Some years, but that might shorten that plan. He might think about retiring even sooner because I think at light heavyweight, I don't think he has the best chance. He's not gonna cut down to welterweight. Now he's lost someone else at middleweight, and it's gonna be even longer time for him to get a title shot now. So he probably gonna need two more fights, 2 big wins to get a title shot. I don't know if he really gonna be willing to do that at this point, but I think he could bounce back. But it's all about who they match up with, and I mean he can still beat 99.9% of his division pretty comfortably. But the issue is that he's in that 0.1%, so he's only gonna fight the guys that could potentially beat him. But again, he still pretty much beat most of them. So I guess some guys steers like Sean Strickland and Bo Nickel maybe in 3 years or 2 years or something. But and who else in the weight class? Oh, Brendan Allen. So there's a couple people, but I think I would favor him right now to beat most of those guys. Yeah, I favor him to beat most of those guys. But anyway, good win for Dricus Du Plessis. He's the truth. He's putting in South Africa on the MMA map. They already on the map. You can't take them off the map. They're on the globe and all that stuff. But he's putting them on the MMA map. He's putting them on this is the greatest. He's the greatest South African fighter in history, without a doubt. Without a doubt, the most accomplished, greatest South African MMA fighter of all time. I can say that. And now he's about to get a title shot. If he can win that one, further solidifies himself as the greatest South African fighter of all time, and further puts South Africa on the MMA map. So, yeah, excited to see that one. And Dricus Du Plessis is the truth. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that one. So again, Dricus Du Plessis is the truth, and we can't trash the Hawk and say nothing about him no more. He's the real deal. And now with 100% breathing, guy hits harder and is stronger and even more dangerous. So only making that matchup against Adesanya even more interesting. And yeah, now I picked Pantoja to win, so that was the end of my L's. Pantoja won. Picked Volk to win. I think I picked him fourth round. He finished him in third round, so close on that one, close to perfect on that one. And Pantoja, I think I picked third round submission, but he took him to decision. So two perfect. I mean, not two perfect, but two wins in a row to wrap the card off. I think Moreno has a very good shot to beat Pantoja in a rematch. He looked pretty good on the feet. He looked like, especially after the first round, looked real good on the feet against Pantoja. It's just about defending those takedowns, and his cardio looked good, but it's like I don't know. It really just comes down to being better able to defend the grappling of Pantoja, and he should win the fight. But already 0-3 against him. But the fact that he was the reigning champion, he likely will be able to get an instant rematch. I don't know if he wants that, but if he does want that, I think he has a very good chance to beat him. I'm not sure who I'll lean to just yet again. But hey, I might lean to Pantoja again. It's 0-3, hard to go against that, but Moreno has a very good shot to win, so I'm gonna say so. Good back and forth fight. No controversy there. Pantoja did what he needed to do. Moreno allowed him to get like 2 rounds of control time, and matter of fact, 3 rounds of control time. First round he hurt him and controlled him. I think like third round he just controlled him. In fifth round he was able to get the back take in control. So yeah, Moreno lost the fight. He allowed him to get back control and grind the round out. So it was a clear win for Pantoja. It wasn't no robbery at all. You definitely say angles for Moreno, but I think clear they should have won one. And Moreno again allowed him to get to that position. Moreno allowed him to get to that position, was able to stuff the takedown, was able to scrap wild or something, and then get back to feet and just outstrike him, maybe stop him, then he would have won, but he didn't. He allowed him to get that back control and hold him there for like the whole round for the most part, and that's why he lost. And that's why he lost. But valiant effort, very, very close fight, but the right man won. And excited to see the next one if there is a next one. And I think it will be a very close one and an interesting one to predict going into that fourth fight. But that really the third professional fight, but fourth fight overall. And yeah, so main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Volkanovski pretty much did what he needed to do out there. It was pretty much a dominant display. Yair had his moments on the feet, but Volkanovski was ultimately able to constantly put him on the back, like on the ground, 2 rounds, and then eventually was able to hurt him on the feet. But you could say the headbutt might have given Yair a concussion. So when he did get caught again in like the third round, he already had a prior concussion from the headbutt, which made him more susceptible to get a TKO. But even without the headbutt, he would have been like down 2 rounds. Maybe would have won the third. But who would have stopped Volkanovski from getting one more takedown to win a round? Then maybe Yair would maybe lose 3 rounds to 2. So either way is what it is. Volkanovski went out there, he did what he needed to do, and for the most part, he won like 95% of that fight. And Yair didn't really do nothing so significant. He had little moments here, but he didn't do nothing real crazy, nothing real big on him. So Volkanovski went out there and continued to be great, and now expanded his title defenses to 5 consecutive title defenses at featherweight. Good one for him. He just further puts himself in that on the GOAT list. Further puts himself on the GOAT list. We'll go in for Volkanovski. He'll likely get what's his name? Yeah, he'll likely get Ilia Topuria next, and Yair Rodriguez gonna take some time off and bounce back. But what I would say about Yair Rodriguez, he kind of did get ahead of himself. I don't know if he had the belt designed to have those Mexican colors on it, or so the UFC did that. I don't know who did that, but either way, the whole thing of getting a stylized interim belt, it's just crazy. Like, you're not even a real champion yet, and you already getting a stylized Mexican belt. I don't know if the UFC trying to pander to Mexican, or I said Mexico's, or has a Mexican, or trying to pander to Mexico, but it was not a good look. You're not even a champion yet, and you got a Mexican belt. Moreno actually is a champion, several times champion. He could get that done. Alexa Grasso, she's actually the undisputed champion. She beat and finished the champion to be the champion, so she could do that. But you are the interim champion. Why are you doing this to an interim belt? You're getting ahead of yourself. And also, I was saying on the card, Mexicans went 1-4. This is not me trying to be bash on Mexico. I'm just throwing it out there. Interesting stat. Mexicans went 1-4 on this card, and 2 of the 3 Royals of Mexican MMA lost on this card. So 2 of 3. So you had Grasso, you had Moreno, and you had Rodriguez. And Moreno and Rodriguez lost. So we just got Grasso left. So just like that power dynamic is gone. It was in a year. It was in 2 years. It was in 3 years. It was like a couple months, and they already lost 2 or 3 of their royals. But hopefully Alexa Grasso can hold on to it and keep that fire burning for Mexico. But nonetheless, it's still a big feather in that cap. And the fact that they were able to reach that point is going to allow more and more young Mexican fighters to come up and achieve great things. And you already had Cain Velasquez in the past. I mean, he was an original flag bearer, but these are getting people actually from Mexico. No insult to people that's born in America Mexican, but still, it's even stronger than when they actually are from Mexico or still reside in Mexico. We're able to go in there and win belts. So that flag will be that torch still be burning, and even if they all lose their belts, it's going to be inspire future Mexican fighters to achieve great things. So still a loss or losses, but ultimately a win because the fact that they were able to reach that point and achieve greatness is only going to inspire more and more fighters from Mexico. So much love to Mexico, and definitely excited to see the growth of Mexican MMA, and definitely have seen the skill of Mexican fighters grow tremendously, and start seeing more and more in the UFC. So they will be a power. They're a powerhouse in boxing, and now I think they could be a powerhouse in MMA. So for sure, and that's the card right there. So again, went 8-5, 8-13. Kind of a rough card. Definitely a lot of dogs bit. So to say that he still came out positive and came out with +3, that's pretty good. That's okay, but not where I want to be. And I can only learn. Only can learn. Try to make adjustments. And at the day, it's the fight game, and it's not like you're dealing with robots. You're dealing with human factors. So it's gonna be volatile, but I'm gonna do the most what I can with what I have, and just try to do better next week. That's all I can do. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.